This video is sponsored by Lucy's Dairy's Rat Milk. It tastes good and it does good and it's a great source of calcium. This is the lift adventure at Barcelona's most luxurious towers. These buildings are very posh and let's go to the first one, which is Barcelona's tallest building. This is a very posh hotel, so let's go inside and take a look at the lifts. And the first lifts are some little lifts between the ground floor and the lobby level. These are some ThyssenKrupp lifts and they look very posh.
Posh lift.
So then at lobby level, along I go to the main lifts, which are some speedy ThyssenKrupp lifts. These go up to floor 34, except floor 34 is labelled as floor 43 on the buttons, and on the indicator it calls it floor P. This is because you change lifts at floor 34 to the upper lifts to go up to floor 43.
The thing is, it doesn't change to its floor till it's actually stopped. There, it actually stopped, then it changed. It makes you think it's on a different floor to what it is.
So then, Barcelona's tallest building. Let's go and ride on top of the lifts. So then up at floor 34, let's go along to the upper lifts, which go up to floor 43. These are some smaller ThyssenKrupp lifts.
They're so reflective.
So then, that's Barcelona's tallest tower done. Let's now go to the next tower, which is another posh hotel. This building is very interesting and very luxurious. Notice towards the top of the building, it's got that weird thing sticking out the side. That is very weird. So we go inside of the building and along to the lifts, which are some ThyssenKrupp lifts, which have got a very strange destination dispatch system, which doesn't seem to work correctly. It's got an up and down button to call the lifts normally, but it's got 3 floors you can press to go to certain floors. Yet when you press a floor, it doesn't tell you which lift to go in. Then when you get in the lift, you discover all of the floors are locked. This is a very strange setup.
It didn't tell me which lift to take. This thing's fucked. It didn't tell me which lift I'm meant to go in. Oh well, well. What? This destination dispatch is shit.
But luckily I managed to trick the lift system into parking a lift I was in up at the upper floor, so I managed to get up the building.
Destination dispatch, it doesn't work. This I don't get. Down. Nope. First destination dispatch is shit on this lift. There seems a weird stick out bit. It's a staircase to go up to the uppermost floor. I don't get it. It's destination dispatch. It's really weird. And also, resistive touchscreen's out of sync. Oh, we're off. We're off on a mystery. Floor 21. Let me out.
So then, here I am on one of the upper floors. I'll try going some of the other lifts, which are some more glass lifts, but these have got misted windows. How dare they? I wanted to look out. Oh well, looks like I'll have to go on top of it. So the lift's now parked down at the ground floor, and no one else was using a lift. I got stuck on top of this lift for half an hour. There's no way I could climb up to the floor above, and I didn't dare put it on inspection, considering that this sort of fishing club is very dodgy, and it's likely to not work on inspection. And also, considering this is a glass lift, anyone outside of the building could see me. But I wasn't really that bothered by that, considering that most people are so fucking unobservant. So I had to wait ages until eventually someone called it back up. So then, now I go along to the next posh hotel. And this is the most luxurious hotel I think I've ever seen. And I've been to a lot of very posh buildings, but I've never seen something quite like this. And the lifts are some glass 4 metre a second eco discs.
Oh, that's a good lift.
So I now try going in one of the other glass eco discs. then I'm near the top of this hotel. And it'd be very visible if I went on top of these lifts. It's all glass and there's loads of staff about and they'd all be able to see me. Oh well, let's go on top of it anyway. This is a risky lift, sir. So then, this hotel has also got a little lift between floor 26 and the roof level, floor 27, which is a base model eco-disc, and this lift gets the floor numbering wrong. I really hate it when the lift engineers can't get the floor numbering right, and it's a cone lift. I would have expected better from Cone. So then, here I am at floor 27, rooftop level. Let's take a look around. And there is a very posh rooftop swimming pool. This swimming pool looks so nice, and while swimming in this pool you can see the view over Barcelona. I really wanted to go in this pool, but the water was too cold. How could such a nice looking swimming pool have so cold water? I was disappointing, but there is a second pool in the building, one floor below on floor 26, and this swimming pool is nice and warm. And while swimming in this pool you can also see the view across Barcelona. This swimming pool is very posh, but sadly it is a bit small though. So then, I now go and jump into this swimming pool and see how big a splash I can make. So now I go along to the next posh hotel. And this building is also very interesting. Notice that after about the third floor, the building gets bigger, making it look very top heavy. The main lifts in this building are some 4 meter a second Schindler Myconics. Only 1 out of 4 of the main lifts has an indicator. -2. Let's see, how fast will this go? Ooh, about 3.5 to 4 meters a second. And we can also emergency stop it. Oh, that's violent. Oh, that's a good emergency stop. The thing is, Schindler Myconic doesn't have to refine position, it starts off straight away again because it knows exactly where it is. It's the best lift logic. And let's now go to the service lifts, which are also Schindler Myconics, and these ones have got the M series buttons. And they've also got a D series ceiling, which is a bit mix and match. The main lift's about 3.5, service lift's about 2 to 2.5. And let's go on top of this lift. And at this point I put a lift onto inspection to drive it to a floor, and the lift refused to drive. I am now stuck on top of this lift, and this is a position you would not want to be in if you are new or inexperienced at lift surfing, because you can't just climb a shaft to get out on a lift where you don't know its situation, as the lift could shoot off while you're trying to climb the shaft. So this is where my experience of lift surfing comes in. So I now have to work out if I have control of the lift. After putting a lift onto inspection, I managed to verify a lift did in fact enter inspection, it just refuses to drive, as the door controls now work. So I use the door controls to open up the doors just to give me a second layer of protection to make sure the lift won't move, so I know it's now safe to climb a shaft. I also press the stop buttons for good measure, but I don't actually know how these do anything because I cannot verify whether these stop buttons work or not. And at this point my experience tells me I can now climb the shaft and get off of the lift. So then, after climbing a lift shaft and opening up the doors and getting off the lift, I then reach down and put the lift back into normal. I then shut the doors and the lift immediately goes back into service. The lift did not even have to refine position, because Schindler Marconic is one of the best lift logics. Also, what this means is that everything on this lift was actually working correctly, apart from the up and down buttons seem to not be wired for some reason.
So remember everyone, don't go on top of the lift without verifying it. I only do it because I've done this a very long time and I'm kind of used to it and I know how to climb shafts. But for everyone else, please do not get on top of lifts without verifying it, because that can happen. Lift's still working fine. Gone back straight back into service. Didn't even have to refine position, it knew its position because Schindler Marconic is good.
So now I know why the lift wasn't driving. However, while I was stuck on top of the lift, I did not know the reason and I had to act accordingly. Now, the important thing I want to talk about is if you were inexperienced, you would be in danger in this situation because you wouldn't have the experience to know what to do and in what order to make sure the lift does not start driving away while you're climbing the shaft to reach the door roller. No feature of the lift can be trusted unless you can independently verify that the feature works. In this particular example, I couldn't verify the stop buttons. I couldn't press the stop button and see if the lift doesn't drive the stop button pressed because the lift wasn't driving anyway. Another thing that's very important is every single lift logic is different. There is no universal way that a lift logic drives a lift. People often say things like, if this happens, the lift will do this. And that is untrue because there is no universal definition of what a lift will do. Every single lift logic drives the lift differently. Every single lift logic has different quirks to it and different things that you need to be aware of, especially in fault scenarios. So you need to know your lift logics before lift surfing. And if you're inexperienced, you need to independently verify every single feature of the lift is working correctly before you allow yourself to ever become in a situation where you're then dependent on that feature then working. And on that note, that is the end of the video.
Good, I'll do that.